Hello the internet, my name's Laura, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of just general work down here, I guess. This is down in my plant area. I did just pick up this guy from Kroger. I was there picking up some things that I needed, and I saw it, and I just recently lost my red and green Photonia. When I was on vacation, I thought that it would be okay while I was gone, and it just dried to a crisp. This guy is not looking to be in great shape. It's definitely got some crispied out leaves, and it is outgrowing its pot. It has a little, you can see the roots down on the bottom of there. So this guy's going to need to be cleaned up. I've got some succulents, a couple of succulent plants that just have like a continued mealybug presence on them. I've been keeping them away from other plants, but and I'm also having a little bit of an issue with my begonias, or a couple of my begonias. I'm getting these soft spots on the leaves. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's like, literally it's gone just flaccid. And from what the internet tells me, that comes from overwatering. So it's possible that I've just been keeping too on top of watering and not letting these dry out. They still seem to be doing pretty well. I mean, the rest of the leaves are happy. And all that kind of stuff, but it's possible that just some of them are taking a little bit of a hit from some overwatering. What else is... I don't know, suddenly I feel like just showing you guys what's not going right. It happens. This guy that I got recently has started, crisping up near the stem, which is not something that I've ever seen before. Like in the center of the stem where it's on the leaf, like that part is crisping. I'm not exactly sure what that is. It's definitely like watered an appropriate amount. And I'm used to, if it's like a humidity thing, usually the edges crisp, like on the edges of the leaves. So I'm not really sure what's going on with this one. I'm probably just going to kind of leave it alone for a little while and see what happens, but if anybody's got any suggestions on why the leaves would crisp from right around the stem, you know, I'm obviously open to any suggestions. Everything else seems to be going pretty well, except for the fact that, okay, so I started collecting plants last year, like right at fall, and then I did my over the winter, and I had some plants. I don't remember all what I had. A lot of what I had, however, were succulents. And, you know, I went over winter, and I didn't have a humidifier down here. I just had my plants, and I didn't know what the humidity was down here. I didn't have a thing that was keeping track of that. And so now I have a thing that's keeping track of that. And it's been sitting very regularly in the 30 to 40% humidity range, which for most plants is pretty okay. It's not great. But I have a lot of plants now that are in the higher need. They need more humidity than that. And I haven't started seeing any problems yet. Like I have my Calathea, my Trio Star, you know, my begonias still seem to be okay, except for that, which I think is a watering issue, who knows. But anyway, I went and I bought a, one of those humidity tents, like the shelves that has the plastic cover over it, because I don't want to get to the point where things start dying because of humidity and there's nothing I can do about it. Because I've got a room humidifier running 24/7. I've got this humidifier behind me that's running until it runs out of water, and it only takes like a day to run out of water. And I just, like, and that's all I can do with my humidity is like maybe in the 40s. So that's going to be coming later this week. I've realized the reason that I'm so small is because I'm back farther from the camera than I usually am. That's okay. So basically I want to just do some general care stuff. I've got some plants to water. My poor little Benitochiba, I let it get a little bit too limp. It's not dead, it's just being dramatic. But so that's gonna perk up, but yeah, I need to water a little bit to get those to perk back up. Trying not to break any of those as I put it back on there. There we go. For the most part, everything's doing pretty well. I did have some issues with, oh, and this really pisses me off. I took some begonia propagations that I had made out of my begonia propagator, like, and put them into soil, and they just went downhill. And I don't know whether that was I watered it too much, or the humidity was just like too big of a shock, or whatever, but I had two perfectly good propagations of my pink swirl, my raspberry swirl, that just, I mean, they're basically dead at this point. I'm not sure that there's anything I can do about that. So that happened. So the rest of my propagations are just staying in there until I get my humidity tent. Because I figure what I'll do is I will transfer them from the peat moss? I'll transfer them from the sphagnum moss into soil, and then keep them in the humidity tent for a while they acclimate to the soil before I then pull them out of the humidity tent. I don't know if that's gonna work. I'm having my, I guess what's happening is I'm having my first real transition into winter as someone who knows what they're doing. Because like I said, last year I basically only had the succulents. I had some other stuff. I could go back and look at the videos, but I didn't really have anything that was like gonna be offended by the low humidity. And that's true. The stuff wasn't even down here for the whole winter because we had, remember I finished my basement, and so a lot of the plants were upstairs, which, who knows how the humidity is up there as compared to down here, because down here, they're actually in the same room with the heater. Like, this is the basement, and the heater and everything is down here, so it's possible that it just gets drier down here because the actual heater is running. You know, there's only so much I can do. This is where my plants go. So I think I might be just doing some growing pains, learning how to deal with an actual winter where I've got plants that are unhappy with that. But that's just what I'm gonna have to do. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So far, nothing's like dying. Nothing's on its way out. Even the Benitochiba that looks like it's, yeah, no, that's fine. That'll be fine. But yeah, so I think what I'm gonna do, this is just gonna be a really informal video because, I don't know. I don't feel like being formal today. I don't feel like cleaning everything up before I film. I don't feel like blah, blah, blah. I just feel like I know, I've even got my hair just being like, I did actually try and put it up because, you know. But who cares? This is YouTube. It's not like anybody sees this crap. But anyway, okay, so I'm going to, I think I'm going to pick all the drying leaves off of this Begonia. So let's tilt you guys down, and that's just what we're going to do for right now. I don't know, anybody else having trouble getting into winter? I mean, it's possible if you've done winter before, you kind of know what your process is already, and obviously I don't. And it might be that I'm just completely overreacting and that all my plants would actually be fine with this level of humidity. Oh, this says, what does this say? Tropical plant care. Tropicals come in all shapes and sizes. Most prefer medium light, moderately moist soil. Average home temperature from 50 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 13 to 27 degrees Celsius. Visit Bloom IQ for great garden ideas. Yeah, so that's basically worthless. That's okay. I know what this is, and I technically know how to take care of it, even though I killed the last one. Part of that was just, that was in such a tiny pot. The peperomia did fine. The peperomia, on the other hand, because I got the peperomia and the Begonia at the same size, this has gone gangbusters. Like, there's so many, it's blooming, it's got so many leaves in there, it doesn't even know what to do with itself. And they're much more adult-looking leaves. But anyway, the Begonia was in this size pot. What is that, a 1.5? 2 inch pot? And it dried out like super quick. The peperomia was fine, but as we know, peperomias have slightly thicker leaves, so they need to be watered less often. That's right. But anyway, now I have this Begonia, and I'm going to take care of this Begonia, and I'm going to not underwater this Begonia, and it's going to be happy in my care, because otherwise it would have gone to some poor family who didn't know how to take care of it, and it would have died actually probably quick death, because they would have just not watered it, and it would have just can't really say slow and painful death. I'm just getting rid of all the leaves that have any crispy on them, because it's just gonna start over. That way I also know if it's crisping due to my negligence or, I don't know. The stuff in the middle looks pretty good, like the new stuff that's coming in, so I think it's gonna be fine. It looks a little bit thinner now because I cut all those leaves off. Oh, there's one. I'm also not sure. No, I guess I could put it under where it was before. It's definitely not getting watered. We'll see how it does under that grow light for a little while. I have no idea if that's a good idea or not. It's kind of tall for being under that particular grow light, but oh well. Okay, so what else are we doing? This poor thing, I haven't really been able to make this happy in a while. I saved it from the brink of death, and then it's just kind of been hovering for a little while. I think part of it is because of the mealybugs. So I'm going to go all over this with my isopropyl alcohol and my little jar of Q-tips that I just keep here now. I really need to mix up some more, I have like the isopropyl alcohol spray And I really should make up another batch of that. I used all the rest of it on my, what was it? My mother's Jade that I refuse to give up on, even though it also keeps... Alright, all the leaves are falling off. Maybe I should just spray this. Maybe it's gonna be too much hassle for it to have me poking around it with the Q-tip. I see all those stupid little mealybugs on there, though. I see them. I know, I should be doing this in, like, systematic order, but I just... Oh, this poor plant. Yeah, look, I'm just knocking off leaves as I go. Alright, so... I'm gonna have to look up what the ratio is of how much water to isopropyl alcohol I'm supposed to put, because I don't think this is gonna happen. I mean, even in the grand scheme of things, this is not like a huge infestation of mealybugs. It's just an annoying infestation of mealybugs. Ah, I see you. Gosh dang it, he was just booking it across there. I've never seen a mealybug move so fast. He knew I was coming for him. That's right. Die, all you mealybugs. Stop killing my beautiful plant. Oh, gosh. Yep. Okay, so. I have my computer here. You guys can't see it, but it's here. Okay. Isopropyl alcohol. Spray for plants. Alright, an alcohol spray is effective against mealybug, whiteflies, red spider mites, aphids, fungus gnats, and scale. It's not that effective against scale. Oh well. To make the spray, mix 1/2 to 1 cup of rubbing alcohol with 1 quart of water in a pump spray bottle. It's a good idea to spray 1 leaf of an infested plant and wait a day to check for damage. How much water is a quart? I think I had a container that was 2 quarts at one point. Okay. We're going to pause you guys for a while because I'm going to have to go on a magical journey in order to find the supplies for this. And I'll be back. Okay, so this thing apparently has writing on it. 22 ounces. 22 ounces, 2 quarts. "22 fluid ounces is a little more than 1/2 of a quart." Okay, so if I want 1/2 a cup to a quart, then I want 1/4 cup to a 1/2 quart-ish. Okay. Good, that's on the outside. Oh, that's not right. I know, I'm doing all these. 2 fluid ounces. That was too much. I don't want to pour it back in there. That's okay. By the way, this is just guesstimating. Don't try this at home, folks. No, actually, this is exactly the way everybody does it. They just don't always tell you. Like I said, we're not standing on ceremony today. All right. I now have isopropyl alcohol mixture. Ugh. You guys want to go in the bathroom and watch me spray all these plants? I guess you probably do. I also have this one that's been playing around with mealybugs. I'm very unhappy with it. Yeah. My beautiful string of dolphins that is really not getting enough light to become dolphins. And it's just being like, so. Okay, we're moving to the bathroom. Alright, so we're in my bathroom. The acoustics are probably really, really weird. And I'm going to go ahead and spray these guys down. Remember to shake well before using. And I think what I'm going to need to do is make sure that I spray this down every couple days. Because I think what I've been doing, unfortunately, is like spraying it down and then leaving it for a really long time, and then so the mealies kind of like have a chance to restart their life cycle. Alright, this one, the mealies are like down here on the stem somewhere. I'm going to spray the whole thing, but alright. On the top, on the underside. I see you in there. Smells like rubbing alcohol, which it should. Okay, so, I know. Get crap off of there. So I'm probably just gonna leave these. I'll probably put them somewhere that has some light. I really need to make like a quarantine zone. Oh well, I'll figure something out. Alright, we're back over here now. Put this all away. Okay, what do I need to water? What do I need to water? What? Okay. What do I need to organize? What do I also need to organize? What happened here? I don't even know what this is. What is this? I uploaded this? Don't believe you. Holy crap, how long has that been in there? No, I don't want, no. No. Ugh, okay, I don't know why that was in there. Okay, what do we got? Water, Trotoscanthia Nanook. That is over there. I'm not taking you guys with me, because it's only the one plant over there that needs to be watered. So, you can stay there. Listen to me talk as I walk across the room. That, of course, is a big plant, and so it used up a lot of my water. That's fine. Okay. It is December 8th. Check. Alright. Begonia Peter Piper. That's you. Do you want to be watered? See, now I'm like really paranoid about overwatering things. Where's my water tester meter thing? Water tester meter thing. Oh, there it is. I do have a place that this is supposed to live. It rarely ever lives there. See, it says that it is number 6 moist. So should I leave it? Should leave it for a couple of days? I'm gonna make a note. MM6 for moisture meter 6. Okay. On December 8th. I know that I just looked at the date. I don't remember things. Okay, Dieffenbachia. So we're not gonna do anything with you right now. Dieffenbachia Camille. Oh, I moved that. Where did I move that? There she is. Ugh. This guy's been doing really well. I don't know if you guys remember, but when I first got her, she was in a pot, very clearly not getting enough light. And just for a long time, just the leaves kept dropping and dropping. All right, so that says moisture meter 3. So that's probably, I don't know. I feel like maybe I should let that dry out too. I'm like overthinking this, I think. Anyway, she's doing really good. Getting some bigger leaves now, growing up. All the growth is super compact. Because she's getting enough light, and she's even got some little babies coming down, like all in there, like there's little baby plants. So seems to be living life pretty good. I never would have bought a Dieffenbachia. I definitely wouldn't have bought this Dieffenbachia, but now that I've kind of grown her up, I feel like I should keep her. I'm gonna let you go a couple more days without water. Because I used to let that like completely dry out, and it never really seemed to have a problem. So, because I think part of the thing that they warn about when you use these charts, because I do like using this chart, but one of the things that they worry about is that you might end up watering too often. Because like, it used to be I'd come down here and be like, that looks dry, or that's wilting, you know, or whatever. And now it's like, oh, okay, it's been 7 or 8 days. And I usually water this at about 7 or 8 days. Oh, my Branthianum, though. I put some eggshells on here to try and, I wonder if I can even get the... Okay, that is at a 1.5. Oh, I put the moisture meter in there. You can't even see. Okay, so that's at a 1.5. So we're going to go ahead and water that one. Because I'm not losing this Branthianum. I traded a note of a silver sword for this thing. It wasn't the best of trades. That's okay. I knew it at the time. But I was willing to do it in order to get a cutting of this plant. And, I mean, I had a whole bunch of it. Like, I still have a decent amount of it, so not really worried about it. Okay, so yeah, that's watered. The first one that was on here, we actually watered. No, that's not true. I've watered the Nanook. December 8th. All right, check. Tricolor Jade. This thing has been annoying the crap out of me. Part of it is because it's not doing anything. It's just sitting there. And I don't know if it's, maybe I'm not watering it enough. I mean, it definitely, because it's in such a small pot, it definitely gets dry before I water it again. But it's also a succulent. Are you there? Oh yeah, you do get light there. It's also succulent, so it's not like I want to water it a lot. It's definitely got plenty of water in the leaves. don't know. It's not growing. I want it to grow. I want mine. Would you like to grow for me? Maybe? I really would like you to. Alright, well, water. Usually on my succulents, though, I just kind of put a little bit on the top if they're not shriveling, if the leaves aren't shriveling. December 8th. Silver Frost. Oh, I showed you guys this one already. This is my little guy here that's like doing awesome. Pretty sure it's a Silver Frost. But like these leaves are all the leaves it had when I got it, like up on these stems, and then all this stuff down here, like all that is what it's grown since I put it under this grow light, like since I brought it home. It's a lot of leaves. Alright, but watering the peperomia. Perfect. December 8th. What else do we got? My micans. This is all the way up here. The micans got repotted. The micans got repotted because it was growing roots out the bottom. And now the micans is growing roots out the bottom again. This plant has been definitely going a little crazy. It's loving life though. I've been considering taking this upstairs just because, like, things do okay up there because, like, on the very top shelf. Mostly because I put stuff up there that doesn't need a lot of light. But it also means that I don't really get to see it, and I don't know, this pumpkin is just so cute, so I feel like I'm gonna take it upstairs. And at least let it hang out for a little while. We're gonna see when it starts having problems, I think, before I repot it this next time. Because I don't know, we're gonna let it have problems before. Because right now it's doing great. So it's not really, and it's not needing like water super often, so it's not that root bound. So I think we're just gonna wait until it gets that root bound. But yeah, I think you're gonna go upstairs with me. You can hang out. You don't need a lot of light so you can be on my thing. What do we got? Dragai Glasgow. Trying to be really careful with this guy. I had some problems with got powdery mildew, which this plant is apparently susceptible to. And since I found that out, I have been bottom watering it, which means that I just pour water in its little, I gotta tip you guys down. I just pour water in its little container here, and then I just let it sit for a certain amount of time until it has sucked up all the water. And what that does is it keeps water from getting on the leaves, which helps to keep it from getting the powdery mildew on it. And so far, because when I sprayed it with the copper fungicide, because that takes care of fungus, and it really didn't like that. Like, it shed like half of its leaves, and I thought I was going to lose the plant completely. That's why you always test before you spray that stuff on plants. And luckily, after a couple of days, it started to perk up again and put out new growth. Well, it took more than a couple of days, but after a couple of days, it stopped losing leaves. And then it started to perk up and put out more growth, and so it's been stable since then. But anyway, that's the way that I've been doing that. It's looking really healthy. The leaves are doing really great, but I'm being very careful. This is also a more succulent type of begonia. Again, I guess I can pull it up and if you look at the stem on that, it's actually a fairly thick stem, you know, compared to the leaves. And that type of begonia likes to dry out between watering. So I've been doing pretty well with it. I just needed to adjust a couple of things. Okay, the watermelon. I call this the watermelon begonia because Kenyon had said that it looked like a watermelon. I thought it was cute. I'm keeping it. Like I said, this guy's been doing a little bit of a crispy thing, and let's see what the moisture meter says because I feel like the moisture meter is gonna say it's still wet. It's moist, which is good. We don't really want wet. We generally want moist. I don't know, I'll probably end up putting this guy in the humidity tent and just see if that helps with the... Because these leaves are crisping, as opposed to the ones that I showed you earlier on the taconite where they're getting limp. So I think that this is a humidity issue, because it's definitely not an underwatering issue. But anyway, that is at a 5.5, 6 still. So I am not going to be watering that guy. Okay. My Deja Thornis. It says my Deja Thornis wants water. Do you want water, my darling? I think I showed you guys this already. Isn't that adorable? I got this pot from Planting Memories shop. And it's just so cute. Oh yes, it does definitely need water though. This one has not become limp like the Benitochiba, but it definitely needs water because it is dry. I feel like I almost need to repot this guy just because it's so big. But right now I'm not having any problems with water. Like, it's not, like you saw, it wasn't limp or anything, even though the soil was dry. So I think it's still doing okay, but it is like a huge plant for being in this tiny little pot. Is it growing out the bottom? No, not really. So, I don't know. But I mean, that's just so cute. Not that I don't have other plants that I could put in here, but... Okay, so, Deja Thornis. Okay. Deja Thornis. That is the wrong place. Baby Etna. Baby Etna. This is not the Baby Etna. I'm pretty sure that that's on the list too. That's just at the beginning. Yeah. Baby Etna is in the front so that Baby Etna can get plenty of water. Oh, Baby Etna has lost a leaf. Just the one? Yeah, no, the rest of them seem to be fine. Snip. Okay. Baby Etna, still looking good. A successful propagation. I think part of this thing's success might have been that it was older before I brought it out. So it might be possible that part of the problem I'm having is that I'm just trying to bring them out too early because they're outgrowing their little containers, but they're just not big enough to handle themselves yet. I don't know. Okay. Both of the Peter Piper babies. I don't believe you. It says it's dry. I mean, it's 3 dry, so it's not like super dry. Okay, well, that's what I have a moisture meter for, so we're just gonna throw a little bit of water in there. Let that drain. And the other Peter Piper. When's the last time I watered the Black Fancy? Oh, that's coming up, okay. Oh, yeah. For some reason, the soil on these guys, like, it still looks dark. And then when you touch it, it's only, like, kind of wet. Like, it's not as wet as you would expect for the color. Which is weird because I potted both of them myself. It is my soil. Alright, so I watered both of them. You have to actually spell it right, Laura. Red Planet keeps being, like, definitely wet. Oh yeah, that's like wet. Okay, so you continue to dry out. I haven't watered that one in a while, I feel like. But he's living his best life, though, so, I mean, I really can't complain. No, that's still a little wet. Black Fancy, this is definitely a slow-growing begonia, but it's starting to get some cute little leaves there. See that beautiful curl on that? Yeah. I'm liking that one. He goes right up in the front though, so he gets plenty of light. All right, and then my Winter Twilight, which has been doing pretty awesome. The leaves on this are huge. It's got some new leaves coming in, you can see there, and there's one back here. Just a really, really impressive looking plant. I would definitely like to obviously get it a little more balanced, but for the most part, very, very happy with that plant. I mean, I'm happy with a lot of my begonias, but it's just a very impressive looking begonia. Okay, so we're not, okay, this was still moisture meter like 7. I swear I haven't watered it in forever though. I don't know. Alright, Brad's Halloween. Which Brad's Halloween? Left 3. Oh, this guy. Can I just water you? I dropped this guy the other day. I went to put it back on the shelf. And it tipped forward onto the windowsill, which is beyond it. And it kind of fell out. It seems to be doing okay. But I felt really silly for having done it. You're putting it down carefully. Alright, good. Alright, Winter Twilight's happy. I know. This over here. Alright. When's the last time I watered the Deco Daddy? Okay, that's coming up too. Okay, Brad's Halloween we're not doing. Begonia Red Kiss. Oh, shelf 2. I haven't resorted this thing in a while. So I had this on the 3rd shelf in the front because it's small and so it's trying to get... And one day I pulled it out to water it and the 2 largest leaves were half dead. Much like this one. And I thought that it was a temperature issue because it wasn't out of water. I hadn't just watered it. But it's very possible that is that a mealy? No freaking way. Begonias don't get mealies. In my experience, begonias don't get mealies. It could possibly just be a piece of the eggshell that I put on here. Anyway, I'd lost the original red kiss, a very similar thing. So I'm wondering if this plant just needs higher humidity than most begonias. And so this is definitely a contender for going into the humidity tent when I get it. The other one that I have is the one that's in my propagation tray, and obviously I'm a little scared to take it out of there because I don't want anything to happen to it. The other one that I'm very likely going to be putting in the humidity tent is this. This was the raspberry swirl that has just kind of been declining the entire time that I've had it. For no reason that I can surmise. I mean, I might have let it dry out once, but... See, now there's a new leaf coming in, but I've been having a problem where the new leaves come in and then they just die. But anyway, so right now it's living its best life there, which is not a great life, but it's life. Oh, my trio star is putting out new leaves. I'm so happy. Okay. But anyway, so that is going to hang out for a while. My taconite. I actually sold one of these. I was really happy. Because I feel like this is definitely not the kind of begonia where you show it to somebody and they're like, oh my gosh, I have to have it. Unfortunately, these are really, really good at propagating. They're hardy, they are fast growing. I mean, I think they're just fast growing in general because my adult plant has just been gangbusters. But yeah, so if I ever need to propagate these, they go really, really fast. But anyway, this is still moist as well. This is why we're testing all of these. All right, I'm going to turn you so that you grow a little bit that way, because this is ridiculous that you're leaning that far over. But anyway, this is how my watering usually goes. In that I pull things out. If I haven't let it go too long, obviously. I pull things out, I look at them, I decide whether or not they actually need to be watered. You know, no matter what my little chart says. Oh, that's a 1. And then we go from there. This guy's been doing really well. I mean, I got him rather small, but he's put out a lot of new growth. It's not just the coolest. I really do like that. I do like that. And one day, maybe one day, this thing will flower and it will be like a big to-do because the flowers are gorgeous. Oh. I think the soil is fine. I put a note on here that it needs a bigger pot. I'm not convinced it needs a bigger pot. I'm going to delete that note. I felt like I was having to water it a lot, but I really am not. What's down here? My Cooperize. Cooperi tall rotted? I don't remember Cooperi tall rotting. No, it's just putting out babies. Did I put that on the wrong one? I actually had one of my Peperomia graveolens is rot up from the bottom. And I noticed that and chopped it off and just stuck it back in the soil to propagate. Because those guys are pretty easy to propagate, so. Succulents are pretty easy to propagate, as long as you know what you're doing. Mom, I'm getting a couple of variegated babies off of this one. I'm not sure I'm getting any variegated babies off of that one, but there's definitely a variegated baby right here, and a variegated baby there, and a variegated baby there. That's why I call this one Coop Mom, because it's the one that gives me the most variegation out of all of my Cooperides so far. The very clearly variegated Cooperides have not started producing babies yet. Oh, this one does have a little bit of variegation on it. Yeah, that baby right there. Oh no, that one does too. Okay, so apparently both of these are throwing a little bit of variegation, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so those both needed to be watered. Retusa triangles. Didn't I just water that? I feel like I just watered that like yesterday or the day before. This thing has been super happy since I put it in a bigger pot. I had it in a pot that it came in for a really long time, and so it was just kind of cramped in there. And it had all these babies, and now that I've put it into a larger pot, the babies are starting to kind of spread out a little bit. And hopefully it's still getting enough light that it will keep its pretty compact form once it kind of like, they become their own thing. No, it's dry. Maybe I didn't water it. Maybe I was supposed to water it and didn't water it. Mom. And tall. Oh, and I have my, one of my variegated ones is actually, oh wow, that really needs some water, is flowering, which I think is really cute. Variegated larger. It says I just watered it, but it is definitely not happy with the amount of water that it has. So we're going to give it some more water along with that guy. I know, I'm playing this really interesting game with these freaking Haworthias because last year I would water them and they would just rot. This year they're like underwatered and their leaves are getting so who knows? We'll just have to see. Don't dribble too much. And my little gold tooth aloe with its little babies down in there. I don't think I've showed this to you guys yet. I also think I'm underwatering this guy, but he's got little babies on him, so I'm not too worried about it. And I always have to be very careful to not hit my cactus whenever I come over here. Oop, this guy needs some water. I can tell. I don't think I have him on my list yet. It was my, I got tired of the way my peperomia graveolens looked, and so I just snipped the tops off of a bunch of it and like shaped it, and then I stuck a whole bunch of the tops just in a pot to see if they would root. Oh, my alocasias need water. I feel like I actually want to pull those out of there and take them and spray them down. Alocasias, you always got to watch out for spider mites on them. Benny Tochiba definitely needs water. Are you starting to perk up yet? No. Still going to take you a little while. I'm going to put some more water in the bottom of here. the soil doesn't always necessarily hold a lot of water. That definitely needs to be repotted at some point, but we'll give it a little bit more so that it can pick it up. Pink minks. Oh, you're doing fine. I just recently repotted this guy. Oh yeah, definitely could use a little bit of water. Not doing too bad, man. This plant, this plant is really, really pretty. I every time I look at it, I cannot get over how gorgeous it absolutely is. I really need to get this guy bigger, so that I can spread the love. A lot of the reason why I like to propagate my begonias is because I just want other people to be able to have them. And I definitely feel like this is one where you'd be like, would you like some of this? And people will be like, yes, I would absolutely love to have some of that. I guess it's a more showy begonia. Oh, Pearl Sky. I feel like I just looked at you the other day and you were fine. Yep, no, you are definitely still wet. This one is doing fine though. Like I showed you, the watermelon peperomia has been drying out. Oh no, never mind. There are some little crispies on here. Not as many though. Like that leaf is fine. This leaf over here, it was always kind of a weird shape. That's got a little bit of crispy on it. Gosh, that leaf is gorgeous. Look at that. Isn't that just a gorgeous leaf? Oh. But that leaf is fine. That leaf's good. This one up, I find this hilarious. That leaf just keeps becoming more and more upright. Like when I picked it up, it was a little bit underwatered, and so it was like hanging down over here. And then it's just slowly, like over the course of a couple weeks since I've had it, just been going, I guess, up toward the light, because it's under the really good grow light right now. And see the pretty little flowers? Aren't those nice? It was so happy. It was so happy to be in my care that it's flowering for me. Okay. Yeah, it's sticking out some new babies. So this one's doing well. I'm not sure. The other thing that I'm thinking of is maybe I put that shelf there with no grow lights, the same as the one over here, because it's right by the window. But like I said, I have terrible light in my house, and I'm almost convinced that the plants on there are not doing well because they're not getting enough light. And that just sucks, because it means I have to spend money on more grow lights, and that's not going to happen anytime soon. I mean, I bought some more grow lights for my humidity tent, because that's going to like go back there somewhere, because I just don't have the space up here. Yeah, I don't have the space up here. And I got grow lights for that, but like, I can't imagine buying grow lights for like everything. Just okay, this is still wet. Okay. Michaeli's Finale. I feel like I just watered you too. Ugh. I did, because it's dripping water out the bottom. Ugh. What's the moisture meter say? The moisture meter says wet. Yeah, these leaves a bit. I'm pretty sure that it's trying to flower, because it's got the little bulb thing here. This is like a bulb. And then this leaf is the one that it's currently trying to put out, and it's been unraveling for a while. This is one that never fully unraveled. But I'm wondering if the flower here is like sucking all the energy out of producing more. Ugh. Well, the allocations don't look bad back there. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to pull them out of there and do something with them. Okay, so that was the Michaeli's Finale. I swear I just watered that. Maybe I watered it. Sometimes I water things and I don't mark them in here. Oh, the angel trumpet. Been trying to keep this thing moist like most of the time, and it seems to actually like that a lot better. You're gonna come right off of there. Yeah, you are. So I wonder if I could propagate that. Just stick that in some water. The top of it is dead, but where do I have some water that I can stick this in? We'll see. But I think it had some spider mites on it, and I just rinsed it completely off and got it all wet, and it's been putting out some more new growth. So I think weekly I'm probably going to spray that guy down. I don't know if it's the variegation. I swear I did not have this much trouble with my other angel trumpet, but it's possible that I just didn't know what I was doing with that one, and it was very unhappy, and I didn't know it. And I did water my Brazil yesterday. The Etna is down here somewhere. Where did I put you? Over there. How are you doing on water? I feel pretty good. Okay. So show you guys my little trio star, which seems to be doing pretty well considering the humidity. It put out this new leaf since I got it, and then these two leaves are growing in, and there's another one right there that's growing in. There was one growing in down here, but that one has kind of crisped, so that one probably will not be coming out. But I mean, for the most part, considering how hard people say these are to take care of, it's doing really, really well. Any of the crispiness that you see on the end of the leaves here was there when I got it. And it's still pretty moist, so I'm really happy with that because I've always wanted one of these. I do need to clean the hard water marks off of them, but you look miserable. Why do you look miserable? That pepperoni I have not been able to figure out. I water it, and it just stays limp. But not the kind of limp where it's root rotted and it's not getting any water, because it's not getting any worse. It just kind of stays. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, and while I'm updating you guys on things, because I know you guys love updates, we've got our adorable little, this was one node of my silver sword, and it has now put out 3 leaves. That is actually a leaf right there, see that? And it's working on its 4th, so that guy is doing really, really well. And this was the top that was off of the plant when I took it to give the node for the trade, and it's been doing super, super well. It had, I think, 2 leaves when I cut it off, with a 3rd one like coming out, and now it's got these 2 more, and then there's one, I'm sure there's one growing in there because that's what they do. Starting to outgrow this pot though, but it's doing so much better than my one that I have up there that that hasn't been in the humidity. It's grown much slower, and the leaves are smaller, obviously. Part of that, of course, could be because it had to grow a new growth point. But anyway, both of these guys are going to be going in my humidity tent when I get that. Put this back. How is this in here? I know, I'm trying to not have you touch the sides, but I'm not sure that it's going to be possible anymore. And then I've got this, our beloved $3 Begonia, which I have, I put in there kind of as a last-ditch effort, and it's actually been growing pretty well. And it apparently even it's been humid enough in there that it's growing little roots off of the top of there. I wonder if I can cut those off. If I could like cut that off and then like plant it and then have it be, that leaf looks dead. Oh, that leaf is dead. Okay, so it's not doing perfectly. But considering it was dying, it's definitely doing better. This will probably be in the grow tent as well. There's a number of begonias I have that I think are going to end up being in the grow tent, just because they'll be happier in there, I guess. I mean, for the most part, oh, my Benny Toshi Bud's doing better. It's starting to perk up a little bit. For the most part, I haven't been having any trouble with them. I'm going to put my whitey eye in there as well. This is the plant that I had, and then I completely chopped it off. That's why I have so many like cuttings you can see in the background. I just chopped it all off because it was doing horribly. And now it seems to be doing much better. I'm pretty sure that I was underwatering it. And now that I'm watering it enough, it's been losing fewer leaves, apparently not all, because that one right there has gotten nice and crispy. But I'm pretty sure this is still wet, so. Oh my gosh, it's not. How is this not wet? That feels wet to the touch. And it's saying, oh wait, did I miss? Aha, okay, good. I knocked this thing over. Okay, I was about to have a heart attack. I was like, it feels wet. It is definitely wet. It is definitely wet. And so this is I'm gonna let this get closer to dried out before I re-wet it, but I don't know. We'll stick it in the humidity tent and see if it likes that better. Oh, that leaf is doing the same thing. You begonias, cane begonias are supposed to be easy. I'm not sure why I keep having trouble with them. Anyway, let's put that guy back. But anyway, most things are doing pretty well. And that is the end of what I needed to do for today. I've updated things. I'm really considering taking all of I took my Queen of the Nights and put them into separate pots because I thought I was having trouble watering them, and I think I want to put them all back into the same pot again. But I'm not going to do that today. Oh, how are you doing? Oh, perfect. Okay, so this guy, now the top of the soil is just slightly moist. So I'm going to get rid of the rest of the water that was in there. And he's going to go back to his place. Anything else I want to show you guys before we're done? Not really, you guys are boring. I'm just kidding. How are you guys doing? Oh, I finally split up my Drosera. It's dripping everywhere. I finally split up my Drosera and put that into 3 different pots. And then I put a lid over the 2 of them. Man, I've just been talking too much, this is why I keep coughing. I put the lid over the 2 of them and they got all their dew back. And then the 3rd one, because it was in this tall pot and it didn't fit under the thing, it's got like teeny tiny little dews on it. It's been struggling a little bit, but they all seem to be doing fine. I mean, it's still got new growth that's coming in. But now that I literally had to go in there and like snap. They were still attached, and I went on Google and I was like, how do I do this? And they were like, you just have to snap it and then separate the roots. And I'm like, snap? But yeah, I had to go in and actually break apart the rosettes from each other, and then they all had roots attached to them, and so then I put them in their own little guides, and they're doing good. Okay, I'm going to stop talking because apparently I've been talking for too long and now my throat is all dry. And the humidity is cracked down here, so that probably is not helping either. 30 degrees. 30% humidity is terrible. Okay, anyway. This was just a weird video because I'm basically planning on not really cutting much of this out at all. I don't know how long it's going to end up being, but if you like this video, go ahead and like this video. You know, let me know how you like this video format. I really was just not in the mood to not that I really put on much of a performance in the first place. But, you know, there's definitely an air of trying to make it seem like I got most of my stuff together, because that's how, you know, you when you're in front of people, you always like to try and have I didn't feel like it today. I was not feeling it today, but I knew that I had to get a video taped. And truthfully, it was kind of fun. I'm probably going to look at some of the parts and be like, but we're just going to go with it. And I don't know, just let me know what you thought. Thanks so much for, you know, spending some of your time with me today, for watching this whole thing. I'm sure there's going to be boring bits, like I said, because I'm not going to be cutting out very much of it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So, alright, bye-bye.